Hey, what's going on, guys? So this is the Jackall Deep Diver Squirrel. Um, I didn't order this bait when we did our tackle warehouse order. If you guys noticed, this wasn't in that order, but I wanted to throw this in there in the interest of being complete for the Jackall brand, and especially to compare it against the Squad Minnow. So this is just a deep diving version, essentially, of the Squad Minnow. So let's check it out. All right, guys. So the DD Squirrel, as they call it, has two different sizes. You might have a hard time finding the smaller 76 size, but they do have it available according to Jackall's website. The 76 has a length of 3 inches, a weight of 3/10 of an ounce, a diving depth of 4 feet, which isn't very deep for a quote-unquote deep diving rip bait, and it's a suspending rip bait. Then the next one is the 79, which is what this one is, which is pretty widely available. You can find this at most tackle shops. Is the Squirrel 79. The 79 has a length of about 3¼ inches, has a weight of 3/8 of an ounce, a diving depth of 8 feet, which is more common for a deep diving jerkbait, is to get into that 8 to 10 to 12 foot range. And it is a suspending lure. And the thing that I like about the Jackalls, among other lure manufacturers, but this lure actually is a good suspending lure. It actually stays put when you jerk it down to that desired depth. So something that I really appreciated when they say it's a suspending lure. It actually does suspend. So you can see the body of this bait is, with that ring on the back, is almost 3¼ inches, and then with the bill, it's pushing 4½ inches. So it's not a very big bait by any means. I'd be using like a medium power rip bait rod. I wouldn't use that medium heavy like you would use on like a. Some people might use a medium on like the .0100s. I like to use a medium heavy. It's a 5/8 ounce bait, and I like to get that extra backbone when I'm ripping that thing really hard. And even though that the bill of this will offer more resistance in the water and therefore bend your rod a little bit more, it's so small. A medium heavy is really actually overkill for this little bait. It doesn't even really feel like a 3/8 ounce lure when you're throwing it out there. It has a weight transfer system in it, which really does help casting for it. But the bait is so light that it doesn't cast great distances. So it's a good casting lure for the size of it. But as far as good casting for overall, like compared to like some of the other baits, like lipless crankbaits and stuff out there, it doesn't cast very far. So let's go over the features of this bait. It has that same kind of split ring where it has, well, first of all, it's an oval split ring, but if you look at the split ring on it, it's got just one side of it is double stacked with 2 rings on it, and one side just has 1 ring on it. So I normally tie on the side that has just the 1 ring on it, but that's been kind of a trademark deal of the Jackall style split rings. You're gonna find that on all their split rings. Here's the Squad Minnow, and it has that same style split ring on it. So, and they come with really good components, really good hooks. I'm not exactly sure what kind of hooks they are. I had heard in the past that they were owners, but I'm starting to think that might not be true. But they are really good hooks, really small hooks on this particular bait compared to some of the other ones. But even when you put some moderate pressure on them, they're not bending at all. They're not yielding to any kind of pressure really at all. So, and then the split rings on them are that black kind of anodized look. So they seem to be high in quality. I've never had any problems. Generally, when I'm fishing with rip baits, I have a really loose drag because I really don't want them to rip out the hooks anyway, especially because the hooks are so small generally on rip baits. And I really like to play the fish when I'm fishing with the small jerk baits, rip baits like these. So let's go over the colors that we have. Let's see, we'll make sure we have it right. This color is called Chartreuse Striped Ayu. So it's kind of like a mixture of a chartreuse shad and an Ayu. I bought it because it looks like a chartreuse shad, but it's a little bit more brown goldish color to it. So this has got a brown olive back, kind of like a light green up here in the corner, chartreuse line, of course, and then a white pearl style belly with that brown head on it. So kind of like a chartreuse shad, just in a different overall color, but the same kind of pattern of a chartreuse shad. So Chartreuse Striped Ayu. And this next color is HL Aurora Black. And you guys have all seen the HL Aurora Blacks that I've showed you before. This has got the dark blue, kind of black on the back, holographic foil sides, and kind of like a blue up here in the corner, and then it's got that gold gill plate there. It's kind of like a painted gold. Looks really cool. But and then also you can see that it has those same distinctive jackal eyes. The other one does too. I just forgot to mention that. And then a white belly. You can also see that this says DD Squirrel 79, DD for Deep Diver. So there is HL Aurora Black. Alright, there's HL Aurora Black. Before I forget to mention, it does have a nice set of rattles in there too. So they're very loud, kind of high pitched. So most of these Japanese style lures that are out there seem to have a really good knock against the plastic that they're using, so they have a really nice high-pitched rattle to them when they do include the rattles inside the body. I also mentioned earlier about the weight transfer system. You can actually hear that. You can hear that ball in there shifting to the back. So, and like I said, I mean, it helps a little bit, but the bait is so small. I mean, I guess it would be pretty much lost without it, because the bait probably wouldn't cast really very far at all without it. But even with it, it's not an exceptionally long casting lure. It casts well, but it doesn't cast far. I don't know if you guys are getting what I'm saying. I'm probably not explaining it well enough, but either way, it casts well for its size, is what I should say. So so there it is, you guys. The DD Squirrel 79 SP. Check them out if you guys get the opportunity. I think they're like $14.99 is what I was paying for these. So pretty expensive, but not as expensive as some of the other baits that are out there. As a side note, just kind of wanted to do a little bit of an update for where we are as far as our reviews are concerned. We still have the KVD slash bait to do, so I'm going to do that I think next week. Starting next week, I've been doing 2 reviews pretty much every week for like the last 2 months, and I think I'm going to bump it back down to 1 and start spreading them out a little bit more. I'm going to get into the last couple of rip baits that I have to do. So I have the KVD slash bait rip bait to do next week, and then after that I'm going to do the I've been talking about this bait for a while, and I'm just going to go ahead and get it out of the way. It's the Imarumba. I'm going to do that the following week on 2/13. Excuse me. And then on 2/19, it's the last rip bait that we got in that tackle warehouse order, and that'll be 2/19. It's the Lucky Strike RCSTX, which is the Vision Edo lookalike, I guess. So it's the knockoff of the Vision Edo. And then I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to try to pick up a couple of those Vision Edos, and I'm going to pick them up in the same color, and we're going to do a full-on comparison. I don't own any of the Vision Edos. I pretty much stick with the Lucky Craft pointers for my own rip bait fishing. So, but I wanted to pick up a couple of the Vision Edos to kind of show you guys and pretty much show myself what they look like up against each other, and try to do a very objective approach review to what the RCSTX looks like versus the Vision Edo from Megabass. So after we get done with those 4 reviews, so we've got next week 206, and then 213, then 219, and then 226. After that, then we're going to start getting into lipless crankbaits, and I'm going to place a pretty big Tackle Warehouse order for just a bunch of lipless crankbaits. So if there's some lipless crankbaits you guys want to see, I mean, there's not a ton of them on Tackle Warehouse, so I think I'm going to get a majority of them. I'm probably going to get like 12, 13, 14 of them. So, but be that as it is, if there's a lipless crankbait you want to see, make sure you guys leave a comment or send me a message or something like that, and I'll make sure I get it. So, so there it is. There's our update. We're going to be cruising along here pretty good, and then getting into the summer. I'm going to be getting away from the hard baits a little bit, and I think I'm going to get into frogs after we do the lipless crankbaits. So we'll do lipless crankbaits, and then we'll do frogs. And I think the frog ones will be really, really cool, especially when we're in the late spring. People are going to want to be seeing what those frogs look like for the summertime. So those are my plans. That's my channel update. That's what we have to come. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. If you guys liked the video, hit the like button. I really appreciate that. And thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it, you guys. And we're getting pretty close to 1,000 subscribers, so I'm going to be doing a contest here pretty soon. So thanks a lot.